Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. Alright, I am here today with an exclusive look at Awakened Realms' new Kickstarter project, Dragonfire. Of course, that's a lie. This is Dragonfire, an older game from, when was that, like 1992? Yep, from Heartbreaker Games. 1992's Dragonfire. I wish I could tell you that this was a hidden gem, something you could pick up for not a lot of money that would offer, all kinds of great experiences and, something off the beaten path that is worth tracking down. But unfortunately, I really can't. This is weird. This is a weird game. So somebody I was talking to online, a friend of mine, said, this game, it's better than you would think, but not good enough, but still not good. And I kind of agree with that. However, this game does actually contain almost every single thing I look for in a dungeon crawl. So it's kind of interesting. The only thing it really doesn't offer is solo play. It is very much a wannabe hero quest. And in that sense, I think it succeeds in being a competitor to Hero Quest. It is a very simple game with simple mechanisms, quick setup time, not a lot of rules to remember. It's a Dungeon Master controlled game. But one thing I really appreciate about it is in the rule book, the little tiny rule book, it tells how the game master should play. And I don't like one versus many games because I don't like being the one, especially when it is a adversarial one where the game master has his or her own objectives that they're going for, like in Descent 2.0 or something. I do very much appreciate how this game and others like it, like Warhammer Quest Shadows of Hammerhall, how it wants the game master to not be adversarial. But I do appreciate the little text in the rulebook to the game master. It says, your task as game master is not to play against the players, but to handle the monsters in a way that is fun and exciting to the players. It is quite easy for you to prevent the Dragon Knights, those are the heroes, from achieving anything if you take them out one at a time, or if you keep picking on any one player all the time. Your only result will be to make the player frustrated and eventually tired of the game. This doesn't mean you should be a wimp when you handle the monsters. If you see an opportunity to strike a blow against the intruders, take it. One of the really fun parts comes when you have played the adventures provided in the adventure book, and you are ready to invent your own perils for your band of brave, fearless Dragon Knights. So I really like that it encourages the game master to play more as a dungeon master in D&D would, where you are there to facilitate the fun for the players. So I super appreciate that. But it is a relatively simple game. Most of the time, you are not going to have your map set up. So in the adventure book, it shows the game master how to set up the map, and you are only supposed to set up from door to door. So there is some exploration in the game where the heroes are going to be moving to a door, opening a door, and then the game master is going to be revealing what they can see basically up to the next door. There are traps. There are hidden items that the heroes can search to find, regular items and magic items. The magic items are from a deck of magic items, and each adventure will actually specify which of the magic items the hero has found. And then most of the time, when you are searching for a mundane item, a piece of equipment, the heroes are just going to randomly draw one of the pieces of equipment from the small equipment deck. It also tells the game master where to set up your enemies, and there are actually some puzzles, some little riddles and stuff There are hidden rooms, there are trapped doors, there are trapped spaces that the heroes can search for. And so, in a sense, this game does have a lot of the really neat things that we all like about dungeon crawls. And the has a little story snippet each time you find a exit from one map and it leads to another map. Some of the maps do have some pretty interesting layouts. And then there are 6 adventures included in the game. And the thing that I think is actually kind of, I guess you could say, cute about this game is that even though it's so simple, it is earnest and it encourages the game master to create your own adventures, to create your own heroes with clues and tips and traps, and maybe you can add some different classes to the heroes, which is kind of funny that this game was like really kind of promoting people to get into that kind of customization at this really simple level. The game comes with 4 heroes and they're all the same. The only thing different about the 4 heroes is the color of their card, the names, and the art. Everything else is exactly the same. All the characters start with 2 actions, a 0 defense, and they all start with a sword, which the sword gives them 3 dice to attack based on their level. So you have white, red, and black. Now normally you would play with different colored dice that have different symbols on them to tell you if they hit or not, but the copy I got didn't come with the right dice. So I just use 3d6, and then depending on the color, you have different ways to hit. So if you're white, you hit on a 5 or a 6. If you're in the red level, you hit on a 4 to a 6, and a black hits on a 3 to a 6. So as the heroes go through their different levels, they're going to be gaining experience, and you can level up from white to red to black. Now, unfortunately, like the 2 red levels are exactly the same. So I think a cool little house rule would be, so the first red level is normal. The second red level, you still would roll for the 3 red dice, but you get 1, you can re-roll 1. And then the next black level is the normal, you get 3 black dice. And then the final, the master level, you would get to re-roll 1. So just something to add a little bit of variety between the different levels. But you're going to be moving your heroes from room to room, fighting monsters, looking for traps, disarming traps, and looking for loot and trying to get to the end to kill the big boss. The monsters, there are only 3 different kinds. Again, really the only differences in each kind are the colors. So you have a green orc, a blue orc, a yellow orc, and a red orc. The orcs each have 2 hit points and 2 actions. They have 0 defense and they attack with 3 white dice. And then you have trolls, which are just like the next upgraded monster. Again, they have 3 hit points. They have a defense of 1, which they can block 1 wound, 2 actions, and they attack with 3 red dice. And the big bads here are the Dark Lords. And the Dark Lords have 4 hit points. They have 3 actions. They have a defense of 2. They can equip different. Each one has an equipped different item. At least the red, the green, and the blue one do. And they attack with 3 black dice. But they actually have some different powers. And almost like chess here, the different colors will attack in a different direction. So the yellow guy, he shoots diagonally. The red guy shoots orthogonally. The black guy shoots orthogonally, diagonally, and tosses like an area of effect grenade type attack. And the green guy just does the area of effect attack. So you don't get a ton of variety in the monsters, but I think you get enough if you want to just play through the quick little the quick little campaign in the game. You also get a deck of events. Now these events are going to be used by the dungeon master, by the game master, to throw monkey wrenches into the heroes' plans. These can allow you to spring traps. Each one has a little piece of narrative. The Storm of Magic. If no Dragon Knight has any magic item, nothing happens. An unpleasant and quite powerful gust of wind sweeps towards you from the cave entrance. Petrified, you see a greenish glow from one of your magic items. A storm of magic sucks the power from one randomly chosen magic item belonging to the Dragon Knights. The magic properties of the item cannot be used for a while until the deck of event cards is reshuffled. So I mean, that's kind of cool. That's a kind of a neat thing that the Game Master can play on the characters. And I believe there are about 20 of these different magic items or different events, maybe 16 or so it looks like. But each one is different, and you're going to have a small hand of these throughout the game, and you're going to play them just to spring some traps and some unexpected events on your players. The map boards themselves are pretty flimsy, but they're okay. They don't connect in any way. There's no puzzle shape, so they can get knocked around quite easily. The doors come on these little stands, and they're only one-sided, which is, yeah, the component quality is not great. But you know what? I think the cards actually feel pretty nice. I actually do like the feel of the cards. And then you also get some like pits, some walls, some single wide corridors, a little bend in the corridor. You get some pillars that you can use. I think these represent like different items that you can find, different spaces where there might be an item for sure to find. And you also get these little 1 square pits that the heroes can discover and avoid. But yeah, that's Dragonfire. It's, you know what, it's a really simple game, but I think it does have, well, in my opinion, I think we need a new game like this on the market. A game that is really simple, and yet it still has all of the things we look for in these kinds of games. You know, loot that you can find, traps, exploration, random events. And this game kind of has, even though it's not a very good game, it actually is a representation, a distillation of everything I like about dungeon crawl board games. And that's kind of cool. And that's probably why I'm keeping it around. I doubt I will ever actually play this. I would have a really hard time convincing anybody in my game group to play something this basic and retro. But I have fun just taking it out and looking at it sometimes. One of the main reasons why I bought this game is because of the paint job the guy I bought it from did on the minis. I think these are fantastic. They've got a really kind of retro style to them. He didn't paint them without like detail or really shading or anything, but they just, I think they look really cool, really basic colors. And I like the line work that he did. I'm thinking he did that with a Sharpie. This is one of the Dark Lords here. I think the trolls are really cool looking trolls. Really good model. I like the giant club that they have. And then the good guys here, the knights. I think they look pretty cool too. But I really, really love the way that this guy painted these. It looks like something from like, I don't know, like the 60s or 70s or something. And these guys here. One thing he didn't do though is, so he did that with the Dark Knights, the Dark Lords here have their different colors represented. The trolls are all painted a different color, so you can keep them separate from their hero card, their monster cards. But for some reason, he painted all of the orcs, most of the orcs the same. I'm not quite sure why he did that, but that is the reason why I picked this particular copy when I was looking for one, because I thought that he did a really good job painting. And maybe he's watching, he or she, I should not assume it's a he. There are many good female miniature painters, that is for sure. I watched some on YouTube, so sorry for assuming, but yeah, if they are watching, please let me know. I like it when people recognize the copies of their games that they have passed on. I recently got just a fantastic comment from the person who I bought my copy of Warhammer Quest from. He contacted me on BGG. He was watching some videos on YouTube and he came across my Warhammer Quest videos, and he and his wife were watching, and he was like, "That's my copy. That's my." He recognized some of the paintings. So whenever I buy a game, a used game, and the miniatures are painted, if they're painted like even halfway decent, I keep them, because it's almost like this weird kind of like gaming heirloom, right? That's being passed on. So I rarely strip paint off of used minis that come in my games. And so the owner of my old Warhammer Quest, he recognized the paint job on, I think it was the Minotaur. And he said, "This is the guy that bought my game." And his wife said, "You should contact him and tell him how nice it is to see the game being played and stuff." And he sent me a really great comment on BGG, and we kind of talked back and forth, and it was just really cool. It's neat. This is such a small community, especially when you like zero into these kind of niche games like I do, with only like, covering one or two different kinds of games. The chances are pretty high that the person who I bought this from might see this on YouTube. So if you do, please please leave a comment or something. And I really appreciate the way you painted the minis and the way you kept the game in really good shape. So yeah, that is Dragonfire. I have no idea if this game, I don't think this game is very expensive. It's probably one that you might be able to find at a thrift store. It's not a hidden gem, but if you have kids or you want something that you can play quickly that gives you a full dungeon crawling experience, I can recommend this game. Don't pay a lot for it. I wouldn't pay over $20, $30 for it. It's not, it's not one of those like rare gem collector items. At least I don't think it is. But if you're looking for something very simple, something you can play with your kids, set up quickly, you could do worse. I have played worse games. I have sold games that I have paid way more money for that are better games. And keeping this, why am I keeping this? I don't know. There's something about it, like I think it has a little bit of charm to it. And some of that charm definitely lies in its nostalgic presentation. So, all right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this look at Dragonfire, an exciting passage to adventure, a fast-paced, quick-starting fantasy game for 3 to 5 players. And take it easy, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.